Start. Right. Good evening, students, and welcome back. So I am also going to discuss the current affairs aspects for today. For today's exam that has been conducted. I would say, it is a very good. What should I say, exam with respect of current affairs, because we spend a lot of time. We spend lot of time for current affairs. But not many times you will say, especially in the prelims examination, no direct questions are asked from the current affairs. So if you see that from that angle, there are lot of questions that are there or have been asked directly from the events that are taking place, not only in India, especially most of the things are connected with international developments at the international level. Still, I would say, comparatively, the amount of time that you are spending to study the current affairs, if you see in that way, it is a very good year. I would say it is a very good year for current affairs. Broadly, we can take like 15 to 16 questions have been asked from the current affairs topic, right? One more thing I wanted to just few things are there that we cannot completely separate them from the current affairs, like schemes of the government. There will be lot of changes, new schemes will be announced, and there will be changes in the guidelines of existing schemes. So for practical purposes, we generally consider government schemes as part and parcel of current affairs. And the other aspects, like international relations, aspects that are taking place at the international level, we will also consider those aspects as part and parcel of the current affairs. So there are little bit overlapping will be there with these two subjects, like government schemes and international relations. And some questions are there, two questions are there from art and culture also, like UNESCO World Heritage List of UNESCO World Heritage List. So from there two questions have been asked. So in this way there will be some overlapping, but you have to take it because everything at the end of the day comes to current affairs only. You can cover them only when you are thorough with the current affairs, right? So in this way, I would say this is a good year for current affairs also. Few more questions have been, extra questions have been asked from the current affairs, right? So with this brief introduction about the current affairs, we will go and see the questions directly, right? So first question is, consider the following statements. Right. Statement 1 is again one thing. So match your questions for the number of question number I'm giving here. So match your question for the series C. So here I have taken the questions from the series C or set C. Right. So first question is, consider the following statements. Statement 1. There is instability and a worsening security situation in the Sahel region. Right. This is the first statement. So first of all, you should know where the Sahel region is. So Africa, if you take Africa, right. So the western and northwestern region, this region of Africa is known as Sahel region. This region is known for political instability. In the recent decade, if you see, lot of that instability has further increased, right? In that context, the question has been asked. So statement 1 is a correct statement. The security situation is worsening in the Sahel region. Statement 2, we will see, there has been military takeovers or coups in several countries of the Sahel region in the recent past. Yes, this is also a correct statement. There is lot of instability, majorly because of the civil wars. Majorly because of the civil wars that are taking place between the different ethnicities or different factions. Because of this reason, lot of political instability is there. So not only the statement 1 is correct and statement 2 is correct, statement 2 actually explains the reason behind political instability in this region. So statement 1 is also correct, statement 2 is also correct, and statement 2 correctly explains statement 1. Correct option here is option A. So for this question, option A is the correct option, right? Second question, or next question we will see in the series, it is question number 7. Question is, consider the following statements. Again, I was repeatedly mentioning two patterns of the questions that have been troubled students for the past 2 years. So one is, pairs will be given and the options will be like which how many of the above pairs are correct. Only one pair is correct, only two pairs are correct, only three pairs are correct. So this is the most toughest question, I would say, or toughest format of question. And the second toughest format of question is this one. Statement 1 and statement 2 are given, and a combo of the possibility has been given in the options. This is the second toughest second toughest form of questions. However, fortunately this year there are questions are there in the format, first format, like pairs, but these type of questions have drastically gone down. So we can say the option of elimination, the earlier previous two exams, that option of elimination has been completely nullified. This year again you can exercise that option of removing or eliminating some options and arriving at a probably correct answer in the questions. Right. So that change is there in this year's examination. Okay, right. So statement 1, we will see this question. Consider the following statements. Statement 1, recently Venezuela has achieved rapid recovery from its economic crisis and succeeded in preventing its people from fleeing or immigrating to other countries. Yes, this is a correct statement. Almost for a decade Venezuela was undergoing economic crisis. There was hyperinflation in Venezuela, and because of the radical measures by the government in the arena of fiscal policy and monetary policy, the hyperinflation has been controlled. Now it has been brought under control. So this saved the people from leaving the country because of the troubles of a difficulties of a troubled economy. So this statement is a correct statement. Statement 2, Venezuela has world's largest oil reserves. So this statement is also correct statement. Venezuela has the largest crude oil reserves in the entire world. This statement is also correct statement, but the statement 2 does not explain the statement 1. So problems in the economy have been controlled, but it is nothing to do with the oil reserves, at least directly. So statement 2 and 1 and 2 are correct, but statement 2 does not explain statement 1. So here the correct option becomes B. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct, but statement 2 does not explain statement 1. So correct option is option B. Right. Next question we will see, question number 8. With reference to the Digital India Land Records Modernization Program, consider the following statements. So very important question, I would say. It is also seen as now modernization of land records has been seen as part and parcel of the land reforms. Traditionally there are 3 rungs of land reforms are there. So other 2 have been added later. One is consolidation of land holdings, and the last one is modernization of or digitization of land records. So to that effort, to take that reform forward, the government has initiated Digital India Land Records Modernization Program. So in that context we will see the statement. Statements 1, to implement the scheme, the central government provides 100% funding. So this is a correct statement. For the scheme, implementation of the scheme, the central government is providing the 100% funds. Second statement, under the scheme, cadastral maps are digitized. Yes, this is also a correct statement. Don't worry about the cadastral maps. Cadastral maps are nothing but, if a land plot or parcel is there, agricultural land or agricultural land parcel, cadastral map is nothing but depicting that map along with its all the boundaries. You might have heard about the word survey number, etc., etc. So depicting a land parcel or land plat along with that its boundaries, that is known as cadastral map. Yes, that is also there in this program. Right. Third statement, an initiative has been undertaken to transliterate the records of rights. So remember, this was also records of rights from local language to, till now land records were there in the local languages, like in Bengal there will be in Bengali, in Kerala they will be in Malayalam, in Karnataka they will be in Kannada. So from that, translating the records of rights from local language to any of the languages recognized by the Constitution of India. Right, 22 languages are recognized under the Constitution. So transliterating them into 22 languages is there. Yes, this is option is also there in the scheme. So all the statements with respect to the scheme given are correct statements. Right. So correct option is option D. Next question, question number 9. Question is, with reference to Pradhan Mantri Surakshit Matritva Abhiyan, consider the following statements. So I was saying the schemes of the government. So before question we have discussed that is also a government scheme, and this is also a government scheme, right? So scheme specific scheme is Pradhan Mantri Surakshit Matritva Abhiyan. We will see the statements. Statement 1. This scheme guarantees minimum package of antenatal care services to women in their second and third trimesters. So second trimester is, the months or pregnancy period of between 3 and 6 months. That is the second trimester. And the third trimester, it is the period between 6 to 9 months. It is known as the third trimester. First trimester is from the inception of pregnancy to third month, right? That is the first trimester. So this statement, till here the statement is correct. So provides package of antenatal care services to the women in their second and third trimesters, that is there, and 6 months post delivery health care services in any government healthcare facility. So in the scheme this particular provision is not mentioned, right? So this provision is mentioned in the scheme, though people are encouraged to take after delivery, after delivery also people are encouraged to come and seek services in the government health facility to reduce the child mortality or infant mortality, but this specific issue is not mentioned in the scheme. So for that reason we have to consider this statement as incorrect statement. Though first half of the statement is correct, second half is not mentioned in the provisions of the scheme. That's why we have to consider this statement as done. Second statement, under this scheme, private sector healthcare provides certain healthcare providers of certain specialities can volunteer to provide services at nearby government health facility. Yes, this provision is there. The private healthcare providers, they can volunteer to provide their services at nearby government facility under this scheme. So this statement is correct. So correct statement is correct option is option B. The only only statement 2 is correct. Right. So next question, question number 10 in the series C. Question is with reference to Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Mandhan Yojana. Consider the following statements. So again from a government scheme, though the scheme has been incepted long back, still it is relevant. That's why question has come. First statement is the entry age for the enrollment in the scheme is 21 to 40 years. So this is not 21 to 40 years, it is 18 to 40 years. So if you know this one single issue, that entry age is not 21, it is 18. Right. So then you can eliminate all the options, or eliminate two options that are there, option A and option D. Then you are left with only two options, only 2 and 3, C only 2. So here also you need not bother about statement 2, and you have to look for only statement 3. Right. Statement 3 we will see, each subscriber under the scheme shall receive a minimum pension of 3,000 rupees per month after attaining the age of 60th year. Yes, there is a provision for providing at least 3,000 minimum pension. It ranges between 3,000 to 15,000. So minimum guaranteed pension is 3,000 rupees. So this statement 3 also correct. So you can directly opt for option B. Option B is the correct option. However, we will also see the other two statements. First statement is incorrect. We have seen that age specific contribution shall be made by the beneficiary. Yes, this is correct. Age specific contribution has to be made by the beneficiary, and the matching contribution will be given by the government also. So this statement is correct statement. Statement 4, family pension is applicable to the spouse and unmarried daughters. So this system of family pension is not, option of family pension is not there. So statement 4 is incorrect. So correct option is option B, only statement 2 and 3 are correct. Right. Next question, question number 12, with which of the following statements about exercise Mitra Shakti 2023 is correct? So Mitra Shakti, naval exercise. Right. So the statements we will see, it was a joint military exercise between India and Bangladesh. So this is also, if you know one thing, that it is not between India and Bangladesh, but between India and Sri Lanka, you can easily answer the question, right? So if you know the participating countries, you can easily answer this question. So once you know that statement 1 is incorrect, you can eliminate all the options where statement 1 is there. So directly you can choose the option D. So for this question, option D is the correct option, because participating country is Sri Lanka. However, we will see the other statements also. All other statements are correct. It is commenced in Aundh, Pune, near Pune. Yes. Joint response during counter-terrorism operations was a goal for this operation. Correct statement. Indian Air Force was a part of this exercise. Yes. So though it is a military operation, 15 personnel from Indian Air Force were also made part of this exercise. So statements 2, 3 and 4 are correct. Correct option is option D. Next question. Right. Consider the following pairs. I was saying one of the toughest modes of pattern of questions. We will see country and the reason for being in the news has been given. Argentina, worst economic crisis. Yes, this is a correct statement. Venezuela was also facing severe economic crisis. Venezuela was able to come out of economic crisis, but still Argentina is still struggling because of hyperinflation, etc., etc. So this is a correct pair. Sudan, war between countries' regular army and paramilitary forces. Yes, this is also a correct statement. There are two factions within the government. One faction, person belongs to one faction. He is controlling the army. Another, dignitary or person that is there in the position of the government, he has control over the paramilitary forces. So there is a fight between them. Because of that, the fight is taking place between the country's regular army and the paramilitary forces, because each of the faction leaders have control over one of these two aspects. So this is also a correct statement. Third one is Turkey resigned from its membership of NATO. So there are tensions are taking place between NATO and Turkey, because Turkey is increasingly having relations with Russia, and it has imported Triumph S-400 Triumph missile defense system from Russia against the wishes of NATO. And it's measures lot of activities often of late they are going against the spirit of NATO. So that's why a lot of tussle is there. There are proposals or calls for removing Turkey from NATO also, but not yet that happened. Even Turkey itself did not withdraw from the NATO. So this statement is incorrect. So only two pairs are correct. Correct option is option B. Right. Right. So this is about the countries that are in the news. Correct option is option B. Next question. Right. Again statements question. Consider the following statements. Right. Statement 1. 𝐮𝐸 pipeline is a strategic route for Persian Gulf oil and natural gas shipments to Europe. Yes. So 𝐮𝐸 pipeline is nothing but it is a pipeline connecting the Suez Canal and the Mediterranean Sea. Right. So that's why combo of the words has taken and it is named like that. 𝐮𝐸 is Suez Canal and Mediterranean Sea. So pipeline is laid and it is to connect oil and Gulf oil and natural gas shipments to Europe. So it is a strategic connection which guarantees or secures the oil, natural gas and crude oil supplies between the two regions. Statement 2. 𝐮𝐸 pipeline connects the Red Sea with the Mediterranean Sea. So this is also a correct statement. One statement is a which one of the following is correct with respect to above statements? Yes. So this statement is also a correct statement. It connects the Red Sea with the Mediterranean Sea, and the oil and natural gas supply is ensured. That's why it is strategic route. So here statement 1 is correct, statement 2 is correct, and statement 2 correctly explains statement 1. So correct option is option A. Both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, and statement 2 is the correct explanation of statement 1. Next question we will see. Right. Question is, what are the duties of the Chief of Defence Staff as head of the Department of Military Affairs? So either you can consider this as part and parcel of polity also, but Chief of Defence Staff always it is in use. And one of our former Chief of Defence Staff, he unfortunately died in an accident. tragic accidents, and a new chief of defense staff has been appointed. So in that context also we can see this question as part and parcel of the current affairs, right? We will see the statements. Permanent chairman of the chiefs of staff, yes, this is a correct statement. Chief of defense staff is the permanent chairman of the chiefs of staff. Committee exercise military command over the 3 service chiefs, yes, this is also a correct statement. Earlier the 3 chiefs of services, like Army, Navy and Air Force, they used to act independently. Now the chief of defense staff will have or exercise military control over the 3 chiefs of or heads of the services. Third one is principal military advisor to defense minister on all tribes service matters, yes, this is also a correct statement. Before, the individual heads of services, they used to give advice to the defense minister. Now there will be a uniformed or unified advice will be provided to the defense minister by the chief of defense staff. So correct option is option A. All the statements given about the chief of defense staff are correct. Next question. Operations undertaken by the army towards upliftment of the local in remote areas to include addressing their basic in remote areas to include addressing of their basic needs is called which of the following? So just thing is, the army has started a program to see ensure that the welfare of the people who are residing in villages which are close to border. So for that purpose, the army has undertaken a scheme that is known as Operation Sadbhavana. So unless you know the exact name of the scheme, you cannot answer this question, right? So correct option is option C, Operation Sadbhavana, it is known as. Right. Next question. Question is 35 in the series C. Consider the following properties included in the World Heritage list released by UNESCO recently, right? So Shantiniketan is there, something related to Rabindranath Tagore. Rani Ki Vav, right? That is there. It is there in Gujarat. It is one of the famous step wells that are there present in Gujarat. Next is sacred ensembles of Hoysalas. Yes, this is it is there. Next is Mahabodhi temple complex at Bodh Gaya. Right. How many of the above properties are included were included in? Right. So in 2023. So here correct option is only 2. Option B is correct, because the Rani Ki Vav and Mahabodhi temple complex is also are also there under the UNESCO World Heritage Site. But the 2 things that are the Shantiniketan and the sacred ensembles of Hoysalas, they have included in the UNESCO World Heritage Site list in 2023. So be careful. There is a higher chance that you may make mistake, because Rani Ki Vav also there in the UNESCO World Heritage list. Mahabodhi temple complex is also there in the World Heritage list. So option B is the correct option. Only 2 are included in 2023. Right. Next question, question number 37. Right. Consider the following countries. Right. Countries are Italy, Japan, Nigeria, South Korea, South Africa. Question is, which of the above countries are frequently mentioned in the media for their low birth rates or aging population or declining population? So if you have the understanding about the differences or problems of developed countries and problems of developing countries, you can easily answer this question. So Italy, it is suffering from declining population growth rate. Actually the population growth rate is going into negative. People are not coming forward to conceive children because of the problems of or cost involved in raising them. So Japan, problem is faced in Japan is aging population, because again the population growth rates are negative. And Nigeria, in fact the opposite of it is going on. There is high population growth rate in Nigeria. South Korea also, it is also a highly developed country, and the population growth is declining. People are not coming forward to conceive children because of various reasons. And South Korea, again, the impact reverse of this problem is faced. Same in Nigeria and South Korea. South Africa, the population growth is very much severe, and population is increasing day by day. In countries like countries like Nigeria, Ethiopia, Kenya, etc., population growth is a problem. Even countries like India, rest of the countries like Italy, Japan, and South Korea, they are highly developed already. Their economies are matured. So the problem they are facing is aged population, declining population, negative population growth rate, etc., etc. So correct option is option A. Statements countries 1 to 4 are correct, and 3 and 5 are not matched with this option. Next question, consider the following statements. Right. Statements are: India is a member of the International Grains Council. Yes, this is a correct statement. India is part and parcel of International Grains Council. Second, a country needs to be a member of the International Grain Council for importing rice and wheat. So this should not be a must. Whether a country, irrespective of whether a country is part of it or not, it can export, trade in the wheat and rice. So this statement is plainly incorrect statement. If you have little bit of understanding of the affairs of internationally, you can simply easily answer this question. So only option A is correct, option 2 is not correct. So correct option is option A, only statement 1 is correct. Right. Next question, consider the following: butterflies, fish, frogs. How many of the above have poisonous species among them? So very well, butterflies, some of the butterflies, they are poisonous. Even some of the fish, they are poisonous. If you touch them, there is a chance that you die. Frogs, certain frogs are also poisonous, because they have their own defensive mechanisms. So all the organisms in them, among all the species mentioned here, some of the organisms that are there are poisonous. So correct option is all 3. So some of the organisms among all the 3 species mentioned, they are poisonous. Right. So last question from the current affairs. Right. Question is, consider the following airports: Donyu Polo Airport, Kushinagar International Airport, and Vijayawada International Airport. So in recent past, which of the above have been constructed as greenfield projects? Right. So Donyu Polo Airport it is there in the Arunachal Pradesh, and it is being constructed as a greenfield airport. And the rest of the airports like Kushinagar International Airport, it is there in Bihar, and Vijayawada Airport, International Airport, it is there in Andhra Pradesh, very well. So all the airports are started as a greenfield projects. Government is trying to connect, improve the connection, air connection, or aviation sector. It is trying to promote aviation sector. In this way, lot of projects, around 21 greenfield projects have been started in the country to improve the regional connectivity through aviation. So in this context, the question has been asked. So correct option is option D. All the airports mentioned above are greenfield projects. Right. So these are the questions that are asked from the current affairs. So here and all, there is one more question in the UNESCO, like Garba dance. Some question is there about Garba dance being included in the intangible list of UNESCO intangible world culture list of culture. So that question has to be considered in the current affairs. So unfortunately we have missed this. If we consider that question also, so 16 questions have been asked from the current affairs in this year's exam. So with this discussion, we will conclude this discussion. I think if you have attempted the exam, I think you might have performed well in the examinations. And if you are willing to or aspiring to attempt the next year's exam, make sure that you will take all the takeaways from here. You will have takeaways from here, and you will use these takeaways in your attempt of next year. So with this, we will conclude the session. Thank you for joining. See you next time.